Welcome everyone back to our weekly Lead Champ Pro call. First thing, I got to get it out of the way. Got to show you guys, I am in fact wearing a Lead Champ Pro t-shirt. Within the next few days, we will have a link if you want to get a t-shirt and rock the brand. Lead like a champ, sell like a pro. Absolutely crushing it. I know a lot of people have asked me about that. So yes, soon you will be able to get a t-shirt. For now, I'm the only one in the world that has one, and I'm very excited about that. But soon, everyone can get one if you'd like. I want to highlight some good news from this week. I want the hat. Okay, guys, I know we have an extra hat. We need to make sure we send Elise a hat. That should be easy for us to do. So someone make a note of that. But some good news for the week. Good news. We have a Discord channel. You should be in it. You'll absolutely love being in it. It gives you a chance to talk to the community, to see what other people, hey, send it to. I'm asking for a friend, 100%. Let's send 2 hats to Elise and Jamie for sure. And this is big, guys. If you're in the Discord, you can see all of the other people that are having massive success here. And I've had more than one agent reach out to me since they started with Lead Champ and say, wow, I was so surprised to see how many people were consistently making sales on a daily basis in the Discord. And it absolutely got me to throw away my excuses and take responsibility. And I've stepped it up in my business. And I know after a career in sales myself, being around other people winning, being around other people that are making it happen, being around other people that have a positive mental attitude, that are taking all out massive action, it will have a positive impact on you. It will pull you in the right direction instead of the wrong direction. So get in our Discord, be a part of the community, and be one of the people posting your good news in the channel here, guys. Like, look at this. Jamie Cheerio, $23.99, little Moo IUL policy. Okay, no big deal. Hashtag Lead Champ Leads. Hunter, another Moo IUL, another 2,400 right there, back to back. This was an aged IUL lead. Derek with 1360 with Chubb, and a little 20,000 with NLG Flex Life. No big deal, just a quick $20,000 policy. That's incredible. Congratulations on that one. Eric Schmidt, little Americo policy. Let's go. 1336 with Americo. Everyone loves selling Americo. Josh Lockhart, number 574 NLG IUL, year-old lead. LCP brought them back. A year-old lead, getting hit with the text strip and coming back into the pipeline. That is absolutely amazing. Yeah, I don't know what number, hashtag 574. I'm not sure what that means. Josh, you might be able to let us know. Maybe that's just a typo. Maybe that's supposed to be a 3. Is that supposed to be a 3? Is that a 3,500? I bet it is. I think I figured that one out. Caleb Tipton, 2857 from a 7-month-old lead, closed at 8:50 p.m. Shout out to the text strips for pulling out the aged of the aged. Let's go. Bringing in those 7-month-old leads. Let's go. Quentin Kelly, welcome back, Annie. I missed you. And I believe here he is nicknaming the AI Annie here, if I'm catching this capitalization right. And isn't it nice? Yeah, okay, I figured that one out. Isn't it nice when you're on a call, right, making a sale, doing an illustration, or you're at church like Josh always talks about, and you don't want your wife punching you in the ribs, AI is texting people back for you. It's unbelievable, and booking those appointments for you. I think to date, we've had over 15,000 appointments booked by our AI and the text strips for agents, hands-free, which is incredible. And I tell people all the time, this cannot replace dialing. It won't replace dialing. You still have to dial the phone. But what would 30% more appointments do for you? If you're listening to this on YouTube, if you're watching this on social media and you're going, man, I really need to invest in some automations, I need to invest in some tools, this is one that is very, very exciting. It's very, very enticing. And when you have someone, right? I'm already referring to the AI like it's a person. When you have someone texting people back for you in real time, it's amazing how much higher your booking rate goes, because it's right when that person wants to talk to you, right? 30 minutes later, when you get off with your current client, it's too late. You need to message them back right now. And that's why the AI is so powerful. So if you are looking for a tool to use to take your business to the next level, definitely take advantage of the event pricing that we have going on from Ignyte. Okay, book on my calendar this week. The pricing still is available through Saturday. Okay, so you got 3 days left to book. Go to leadchamppro.com, book a demo, and you'll get access to all the event pricing. You can actually turn on AI for your business and have those appointments being booked automatically for you. Okay, one more quick shout out I want to give. This one's kind of a big deal, okay, for anyone who's been selling insurance, whether it's been for a few months or a few years. Selling over $1 million worth of insurance is a really big deal, and it's a huge number. I mean, it's crazy to do on your own pin. What's even crazier is when I logged into Josh's lead champ the other day, Josh Lockhart, I saw that he was at 999,000, okay, in target premium on the books, okay, with clients that he has currently in our client retention campaign. And just yesterday, that rolled over to the 2 Comma Club, over $1 million, okay, Josh Lockhart has in, and he corrected me, I did not AP, this is target premium, okay, on the books in the retention campaign. So when you talk about building a book of business, building up a book of clients, one of the most exciting things about using something like Lead Champ is every time you disposition another sale, it gets added to that pile. You get to see that number growing. You get to go to that pipeline and see your book of business growing over time. And of course, there's the protections in there for you as well, right? You've got that missed payment pipeline, right? To know, okay, who's in missed payment to make sure they stay in that active book of business. And then you've got those monthly payment reminders going out, the cards, the texts, the emails, constantly staying in touch with all of those clients to make sure that $1 million, right, stays in Josh's business and doesn't get charged back, right? So super powerful tool. Huge shout out to Josh for doing so much insurance sales. That's absolutely crazy. Okay, now let me find Elise. Okay, guys, today we have Elise Soppe, which we were talking about her name earlier. That is how you pronounce it, Elise Soppe. And Elise, I know we got a little, just a few minutes to chat at the event. Thank you so much, by the way, for being willing to take your time. I know, obviously, you could be selling, you could be recruiting, you could be growing your business, but you decided to come back on with us and really share with all the other Lead Champ users and everyone else that's watching on social media and help give back to the community. So we so appreciate you doing that. And I'm excited.
I would be here anyway, so.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's so nice of you. And I got a chance to talk to you for a few minutes at the event, but Josh is telling me that I really missed out by not asking you about your Lead Champ origin story. That's what he called. That's what he described it. Which, like, how did you? And maybe we need to start that as a theme going forward, Josh. Like, you and Jamie kind of have your Lead Champ origin stories, which was, the transition from, in-home to telesales and what that meant for your business and a reason to go build it. Right. But everyone sort of finds their way to this at some point, right? The automations, maybe they try to build their own, maybe they work with another CRM out there before they come and check us out, right? But everyone has a story. So they told me yours was pretty interesting. So if you don't mind just introducing yourself to everyone here, how long have you been selling? Not that long, right? Are you pretty new to insurance?
Well, first of all, my name is Elise Soppe. Or Soppe, we've now changed it, making it a little bit fancier.
Nice.
Um, so I actually started last March, but I did not take the business serious till my first Ignyte conference last year. I had no idea like what it took to, really get the most out of being a life insurance agent and produce. That being said, I also was still lashing full time and not whipping like Josh thought, like lash extensions. So it was like a slow move for me because I was, trying to juggle full-time lashing, trying to do this full time. Once I once I started, doing less days lashing, I would start doing more days on insurance. So now I'm like at a couple hours a week, 1 day a week, lashing. So, but I remember after annual convention, or maybe no, right before annual convention, I'd been testing out all different CRMs, whatever, and I somehow came across the Lead Champ one, and I was watching the Jamie and Josh's like intro video, and like I knew of them, but I'd like never met them, but they had me dying. Like I was laughing so hard, but I also was like, dang, like that's familiar because I just started like slightly producing at a higher level.
You have like
And
stacks of papers falling off your desk and things like that too. Is
oh,
that what
I
you're talking
didn't
about?
even have a book. Like everything was a mess. I had things on all different CRMs because I like to just try everything. That's just how I am. I was the same with my lash supplies. I would just try everything. So I was like, screw it. It was a little pricey, but like that was one thing that I got from my lash career was like, I'm not afraid to invest in my business And like I was not at the 15, 20,000, a month mark, but I also wasn't afraid to invest in my business. So I was like, the whole thing about this industry, right, is to bet on yourself. And I knew that if I was going to start making strides, I needed to have the right tools to get me where I needed to go. And it was shortly after, getting everything, lined up and start actually using all the drip text. And, it was a little slow moving because I didn't want to upload any of my old leads in there. I wanted to only do my new leads. Like I was very, very weird about that. And I actually don't know why I didn't do that. I eventually got all of my leads in there. And I remember Riyadh actually telling me like, once you start getting like 300 to 500 leads into the system, you're going to start seeing it work. And that was the exact case. Once I got 300 to 500 leads into the system, the appointments were booking and they were showing up because they're actually messaging back and forth with the little AI person that they think it's me. And I'm like still lashing and getting done with my lashing day. And like, bam, I have appointments this afternoon and they're actually showing up and they actually want things from me. So that was like really cool.
Wow, nice. And so Josh, basically the way he described it to me is he said we saw a charge pop up that, for like a sizable amount of money to your card. And he's like,
Mhm.
oh crap, something went wrong. We need to call Elise and like figure out like why do we bill her, for, a couple $1,000s or whatever. And apparently you said, no, I just actually went ahead and went on and paid for it for the year. And
Yeah.
because like you were like, I'm locked in. And
Yeah, it was
that's
one moo policy that I got paid out on, like a $200 a month moo policy. I was like, I'm just gonna pay for it for the year, and then it feels like it's free. And it does feel
wow.
like it's free once you just like knock that payment out, right? Like it's one policy if you think about it.
Let's go. Literally, you're not messing around when you say you're betting on yourself. You're like, no, I'm going all in. I'm gonna be here a year from now, no matter what. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
ahead and get it. And that is like I talk to a lot of new agents and I tell them, hey, like you mentioned 15 to 20,000 a month. That's where I tell people, hey, once you're selling more than 15 or 20,000 a month, you really need something like Lead Champ to keep track of all those customers. I mean, you have 500 people that are in your pipeline, and any one of them cancels, it could cost you, few thousand dollars. So keeping them, staying constant with them is really difficult. Well, if you see a 10% increase in your retention because of this at 20,000 a month, that's 2,000 a month coming back to you, right? So then the
Easy.
expense is just a no brainer. But if you're a newer agent, I always tell people, hey, you got to make sure you're investing in leads first. So, but
Yeah.
you obviously did that and kept pushing forward. And
Mhm.
I mean, when I said you hadn't been doing this for a while, only a year. That's many people, I got to emphasize this. Some people have been in sales for 5, 10, 15 years and are still, figuring it out. So definitely impressed with your progress to go from a year ago, just starting very part time to now just being asked actually to speak on stage, at this Ignyte event that we were just at, which if you were there, hopefully I got a chance to say hi to a lot of y'all there. It was a really incredible event, over 3,000 agents there, and probably only 50 or 60 of them, were invited to speak. And obviously, you were one of those people. So do you mind sharing, what were some of the things throughout that year that you've had to like figure out or overcome? Like, obviously you didn't just get it right off the rip, but how did
Oh
you
no.
go from, from being brand new part-time to, being invited to speak on the stage?
It came with a lot of hard days, a lot of hard times. It was not easy for me. Learning the sales learning curve was extremely difficult, and I'm a very sensitive and emotional person. So, like, I mean, I remember when I first started under Nicole, we did mortgage protection and we did the ARIA mortgage protection leads for like 75 cents. And we would just blast them out on text on Ringy. And I remember this guy messaged me back and he was like, I'm gonna sue you and I'm calling this person and you're gonna lose your license and you're gonna go to jail. And I remember like calling Nicole. I'm like, oh my God, is this gonna happen to me? And she's like, no, just like keep going. But like it didn't stop there. It took me a long time to build a backbone, to the point where actually, and I don't know if I'm allowed to, I'll keep it as PG as I
We
can
try
with
not to
this.
curse on YouTube. Otherwise, I think you're good.
It's not really cursing, but like to should just show like how far I came in building my own backbone. I had a guy maybe like 2 months ago. I actually had to terminate him out of my system completely. He was like, calling like normal, fresh lead. And he's like, I'm gonna you in the face, and then I'm gonna get your dad in the face, and then I'm gonna find your mom and I'm gonna slap her and tell her she should have swallowed you. And I died laughing at this, and I'm like going back and forth until he hangs up on me. And he ended up getting actually really, really nasty, and I just hung up on him. But it was like all I could think was if I had this man a year ago, like that would have wrecked me. You know what I mean? So, I
You would
mean,
have taken it. You would have
definitely,
taken it personally instead of
oh
just
my
shrugging it off
God.
and laughing. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it took a lot of conversations with Nicole. I mean, I would be dialing for all day. I mean, that was the thing is I showed up every single day. I put in the hours, I put in the work. It just took me a minute because I had a very soft-spoken voice. Clients walked all over me. Like it took me a minute to find that. And I would get on calls with Nicole and be like, I don't know why I can't do this. And she's like, just keep going. Like you're gonna get it. You're gonna pick it up. And it's like, when they say when it clicks, it does. So I mean, it took me a minute, but here I am, and now I'm confident. And I mean, it's crazy to think like a year ago, I went to my first convention ever. I didn't even have business attire to wear. And now I'm speaking on stage this year. So it's just crazy to see what happens when you just put in the work and invest in yourself and invest in your business. I mean, if you can do all three of those things, you can succeed in this industry.
Wow, that's amazing. Love that. If you're a new agent watching this, you should 100% follow in Elise's footsteps, invest in yourself, put in the work. And it sounds like, you know, that you working closely with Nicole, right? Having someone that you can confide in that can help, coach you along the way, someone who's already walked the path before you, that's a big deal. So
And I'll
shout out
have
to
to
Nicole
say, like
for
between Nicole and Jenna and Jamie, I mean, those three were my backbone. I mean, Jenna probably got so many texts from me, like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I can do this. And, to have like a support system, put you back on your feet and be like, let's try this again, keep going. But I was very lucky. And I tell new agents that come on all the time, like, it is so important to find a support group because, especially when you're just getting started, this industry can be really hard mentally. I mean, you're putting in a lot of hours. If you're not making sales and you're investing in leads and you're not getting anything back, it's mentally taxing. But eventually it's going to kick off and eventually you're going to get it. And so I just tell like new agents that come on, it's so important to have that support group. Reach out to me, reach out to Jenna. Like, we get it. We've been there. Like, we've had the hard days. I mean, Jenna, when she first started, went, I think it was 3 months before she sold a thing, but she invested in leads every single week and she showed up every single day. And now she's on stage twice now. So, I mean, you can do it. Anybody can do it. You just have to have the determination and hard work to put into it.
let's go. And speaking of, are you also recruiting and building an agency now as well?
I'm starting to do that. That took me a minute too. So now I'm trying to get a little more serious with that.
Okay, so if you're watching on social media and you're looking for someone to work with, hit Elise up, 100%. Like you can tell, like she knows what she's doing now. And I would definitely want someone with that type of positive mental attitude in my ear, right? No matter what you face, like having someone being like, hey, you can do it, keep pushing forward. That's exactly who you want to be working with. So if you're watching on social media, definitely hit Elise up if you're looking to get into the life insurance business.
I would
Um,
love to help you change your life.
Let's go, dude. Sales has been life changing for me as well. I know many people on this call, feel the same way. You're getting me excited talking about didn't even have business attire. Like I remember helping many new sales reps, 18-year-olds fresh out of high school. They have no idea what they're doing. They don't own a suit, and they earn the money to buy their first suit, right? Or first like formal, business dress. I have no idea what women's clothes are. I think they wear suits as well, right? To go to one of these events to be recognized, and that's a really cool benchmark to hit. Talk to me about the event. And I know we have Josh and Jamie on here as well. And I might want to, ask them their biggest takeaways as well from the event itself. Like obviously you got to speak, but I know you were there taking notes, talking to people backstage, talking to other top producers, the top agents. What were some of your big takeaways? Or what kind of things are you applying in your business now that you're back from this latest event?
So I would say biggest thing is the recruiting aspect, right? Like I heard a lot from a lot of different, top producer talking like, why are we being selfish holding back this opportunity? And for me, I think it's like I'm uncomfortable saying that, but it's like we have to still, even on the recruiting aspect of this business, get comfortable being uncomfortable. And so it's like, if this has changed my life and I'm making more money than I ever have, why can't I do that for somebody else? And like, that's so rude of me. Like, why would I not do that? My favorite speaker was Trey Honeycutt. He just crushed it. And he's like, basically, quit like doubting yourself, quit doing all these things. I can't remember everything he said, but it started with, you should quit doubting yourself, quit doing this, quit doing that. And it just resonated with me so hard. Not only that, but I think if you're a new agent going to any type of convention, like watch all the YouTube videos from Family First Life. Like make a hit list of all the people that you want to meet because that's what I did a year ago at the Ignite, and that's what I did at the annual convention. And I met people like Trey Honeycutt and Frankie Euphemia and Eric Schmidt and like all these people that like you don't know who is going to be like dropping gems that like you can take, you can implement into your business. And it's so important to be able to like meet these people in person, like to the point where Trey Honeycutt called me out on his call yesterday on the builders call, like because he knows who I am now. But no one's going to know who you are if you don't like introduce yourself, you know? I think that's super important for any new person. Like get in person, meet these people. Like, you know, what we tell our agents all the time, like, I can only teach you so much, and I have one style of learning, but we encourage people, like, reach out, call Josh and Jamie. I mean, maybe don't call them, they're super busy, but you know, call people like that that are you know, where you want to be at because you don't know what you can take away from them. Because I can only give you so much. Jenna can only give you so much. Nicole can only give you so much. And, you know, we all work as a team, but like reach out to other people because you don't know who is going to, you know, say something that you're going to resonate with. And that little thing might be the, you know, key that turns and opens the door for you to start getting further ahead.
Let's go. Yeah, I love that. I definitely agree with you on that. Going to these events prepared to ask questions for the people that are from the people that are already making it happen, you know, is
Yeah.
a huge deal. You know, being coachable to people who have what you want and who have been where you are, probably one of the fastest ways to increase your success in anything. So that's obviously that's been one of your keys to success so far. And by the way, I didn't even ask you like what's been your best month so far. Now you're still you haven't even completely quit your old job, so you're still only part-time, but what's your best month so far, if you don't mind me asking?
I think July, well, I would have if she paid 42,000, but one of them was stuck in underwriting for a while. So I think it ended up being like 30 something. But on
Sheesh.
my lead champ, where you
Okay.
can see your sales for the month, I was a little over 42 and I took a picture of it because I was very proud of it.
Let's go. Okay, so you're actually crushing it, crushing it. Now, obviously, that's not like every month yet, but it won't be long when that's your base,
Yeah.
right? You know, and you're doing that every month, and then you're pushing for 60, 70, 80, right? That's how it goes, right? You keep
Yep.
one thing I think everyone needs to hear is if you keep doing something long enough, you're going to get better at it. Okay, if you're here and you still haven't broken free yet, like I mean, inspire Jenna has an inspiring story. It sounds like going 3 months without making a sale is a lot of determination. You know, my very first week in sales, I went 0 for 20 and I thought about quitting. There's no way I would have gone 90 days with no sales. You know, if I didn't see it turn around faster, I would have probably been out of there. So that is crazy determination. But if you keep going, you're always going to keep getting better. And Josh, Jamie, I'll bring you guys up here in a second. But just before I let you go, Elise, or I'll leave you on here with us. They may want to ask you some questions as well. Um, what is, you know, your favorite feature of Lead Champ? What do you like the most about it? What's it been doing for you that you really enjoy? And also, you know, if you have anything that you're like, hey, I would really like to see you guys add this, you know, feel free to let me know. You know, we'll put it on the blue sprinkles list. We make the cake and icing first, but we're always trying to come out with blue sprinkles whenever we can.
Well, I love everything about Lead Champ. I have from day one, that was a game changer. And I would know because, like I said, I tested and tried every single thing. I'm not going to name other CRMs, but I'm pretty sure I have tried every single other one of them to the point where this one that I was like, I am going to put my full move policy towards paying for this. Favorite features, I mean, you have to use them though, right? Like you have to work the system the right way. There's a what happened button, and it's there for a reason because it's going to drip on them how they're supposed to be dripped on them to try to get them back on your calendar and hopefully making that next sale. Um, you know, the no-show one. I don't know how many times I've hit that no-show button, right? Because we're in telesales and people don't always show up to their damn appointments, even if they are the ones booking it on their own time. But I've been able to get a lot of people back on my calendar just using that button, and it takes the emotion out of it, right? Like even missing a payment, like you don't have to be the one to like find them in your contacts and send them some awkward like, hey, by the way, you didn't make your payment. Are you aware of that? You just hit the button and move on. And 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh my God, like I don't know what happened. And you get on the phone with them and you get it taken care of and they're still on your books. And like, so I mean, it's a game changer. It saves your business. Sending out the postcards. I've had a few clients, reach out and just like send me a personal text on my personal phone saying like thank you for like thinking of me, that was so awesome, thanks for always keeping in touch, because they're constantly being jerked on even after they're a client in your book, just telling them happy birthday or whatever. Like I don't know what other system is going to do it for you. And then I just have to shout out Josh and Jamie, like this is made by Josh and Jamie, like they created it and they are both top producers and currently selling insurance. So why am I not going to trust what they're implementing in the system that they use? Like, of course I'm going to, because the other ones, I mean, that's a huge key thing that's missing on that end.
Wow, thank you. You are such a huge fan of Lead Champ. I really appreciate you shouting us out so
Lead champ
generously.
everything.
That's amazing. Yeah, 100%. I love. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with everything that you just said. And Josh, Jamie, thank you guys for joining me as well. And definitely shout out to Josh and Jamie for putting in so much work building this. I know at the last event, Jamie, you saw someone speak about getting a referral for every beneficiary. And not only did you decide I'm going to go apply this in my business, but you actually built us a cool new button inside of Lead Champ so everyone can do that every single time. And that's been huge for people so far. So I wanted to bring y'all back on. Obviously, you guys got to speak, at the event as well. So great to have so many top people here in the Lead Champ community. But wanted to hear y'all's biggest takeaways from this most recent event, what you guys are going to apply in your businesses, or what you maybe heard from the stage or behind the scenes, from one of the other top producers there. Or maybe maybe your big takeaways was from the Sean Mike special event afterwards. So I'd love to hear whoever wants to go first. Josh, Jamie, I don't know. Jamie, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I'll keep it super short. Less of a takeaway and more of just an encouragement. At one point, I don't know if it was Grady or Andrew or Zach or Sean, one of the top people, they said, raise your hand if you're brand new in here. And it was like dang near 85% of the room put their hands up. And I've been to, I don't know, three, four, five big events a year for Family First Life for the last 5 years. I've never seen that many hands percentage wise of the room go up. I mean, usually you see 20% of the room, their hands go up as brand new. And it was like dang near 85% of the room, hands went up, which was super encouraging just to say that we're all at the, right place, right time, right people. I mean, not to be too cliche, but definitely in the right room, number one. Number two, with just Lead Champ in general, being a software that is great for producers that are doing 10, 15 plus policies a month, it was really encouraging to be able to finally have something that we can give to new agents. So we have an offer that's going until the end of the week, I believe. Nick can give details, but our for the first time ever, we're offering the Verify My Underwriter website as a standalone product. So for anybody who has a brand new agent that's like, hey, 247, that's a lot. For $47, they can get the Verify My Underwriter website where they have, license verification, all their carriers, their profile, their bio, all the different ways to verify you are who you say you are, so you can basically minimize the social security number and bank account objection, number one. But one of the cool things that we're offering with that is if you get the Verify My Underwriter site, you get our brand new Power Dialer, the Connect Power Dialer, for free for a month, which if anybody's been around for a minute, we've never offered a free trial on anything. Many people on this call are like, hey, free trial on? No. We've just never done it before. So this is the first time for that. So that is kind of a twofold thing. And I'll pass it to Josh. Is one is if you get the Verify My Underwriter site for $47, you get the Power Dialer, which is $147 for free for 30 days. Great thing. On the flip side of that, if you decide to put your faith in Lead Champ Pro, the $247 a month using the FFL coupon code, we will also give you the Power Dialer for free for a month. So great offer. Nick's got the special coupon code for that one. So make sure you hit him up. But if you're brand new, I just feel encouraged that we have something for you, something you can kind of graduate into. Get that verified producer site, get a power dialer, take yourself from, pen and paper and papers all over your desk to a spreadsheet, and then take yourself from a spreadsheet to uploading that spreadsheet into a system that you can move a little faster and a little bit more efficiently with the power dialer. And then ultimately, when you start putting out 5, 10 clients, 15 clients a month, I had put it in the chat here a little bit earlier. 10 clients a month is 120 clients a year. I promise you that they will fall through the cracks. And then you've got top people who, at my, absolute high, I remember, getting on, recognition for app count way back in the day, and, 15, 20 applications in a week when a top producer. So now imagine somebody who's selling 30 to 40 applications a month, stretch that out over the course of the year. I promise you, there is no human who can follow up with that many people and not have somebody fall through the cracks, or have somebody that you said you were going to do something and in all good intentions you weren't able to. So your options are either to hire a staff member or to have a good CRM. So if that's you, our goal is to help you graduate into that, to get to the point where increase credibility, reduce sales pressure, have something to keep you organized with a power dialer. And then ultimately, once you have some consistency, it might make sense for Lead Champ to be that thing for you. Or if you're already there, I don't know how you're surviving without having some sort of a system for your book of business. So that's kind of my thing there. But just encourage that there are so many new people, and it's just exciting for what's coming for convention here in 3-4 months.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing that. And by the way, for everyone on here, next week on this call, we're going to be specifically discussing for newer agents, when in your business does it make sense to start buying some of these tools and investing in things if you're trying to get a roadmap for yourself. What we found is the more money we help you make, the longer you'll be a customer with us. So we're trying to set you up for success, not failure. You don't want to spend, $500 a month on tools before you are making enough sales to make that work. So that's why this progression is going to make it a lot easier for many new agents. You can start with that credibility site, then go to the power dialer, then go to the big automated system. And then, beyond that, if you're looking to get on like lead management with us or something like that and automate every part of your business, you can. But Josh, what about you, man? What was your biggest takeaway from the event, or what are you looking to apply in your business now that we're back?
Yeah, a few things. I think a lot of times, right, especially on calls like this, right, I'm seeing the people that are on, and I see them in the Discord and their accounts, and we know a lot of people on here. They're selling, they're making it happen. They're like Elise, and either on the come up doing 20, 30, 40, or have been there for a very long time. So it's easy to kind of be around people like this and kind of think everybody is like that. And that is not the case, right? The majority of licensed agents out there are, they're struggling, right? They're trying to figure it out. They, maybe don't do 10 policies in a month for a variety of reasons, right? Maybe they're new. Maybe they just, they've had scheduling issues. Maybe they have had all sorts of issues, and it's easy to think, well, hey, yeah, you just call the leads and they sign up and you make sales. And that is not the truth on large. So I think as top people, it's good, and you need to put yourself in two places. You need to on purpose get around people that are doing better than you, right? So you get some of that friction. You have some of those how those people are moving, operating, talking, and so you can kind of shake it up yourself. And then also you need to be around people that are not doing as good as you. Now you have to have both. If you have too much one or the other, right? Either the people that are doing better to you than you, if that's always the case and you're not progressing, they're going to stop inviting you around. And if you're only spending time with people that you're doing better than, then you're never going to grow. But it's good to keep a healthy perspective. And so that's why I love events like this. And, for me or Jamie or Elise to say, here is what I got out of it. Again, you're getting our perspective wherever you're at in your journey of business and sales, right? You're going to get something different what's going on in your life, right? And so if you're an agency manager and you're focused on recruiting and building every single day, maybe you're not doing as much sales as you once were, right? You're probably going to get out something of that nature, right? Versus the person who you're just trying to sell your first 10K a month, right? You're going to be focused on that. So keep that in mind, right? And so the thing that I got out of it was simply this, that you get what you allow. Okay. And that could be one time I was at church and my pastor said that we actually don't choose our friends. We just gravitate towards acceptance. Think about that one. Let that one grab you for a minute. Is we just kind of go through life and whatever we allow, it just kind of takes over our life, right? Like most of us didn't wake up on our 18th birthday and go, I want to become an insurance agent. Like that doesn't happen with anybody. It just life circumstances steered us in this direction. Then we're like, yeah, that seems pretty good. And then you've been getting whatever results you've been getting. And this goes down to like the very granular, right? Like Jamie and I, we always joke we're a bunch of dumb cavemen and we are an unorganized mess. And that's kind of yeah, that's why we made Lead Champ, but also you get what you allow. Like, could we do better? Could we take, 2 minutes after every single call and push the what happened button? Many people don't, right? They say, oh, I'll get to it later. I'm too fast. Like anybody that says, well, I'm moving too fast. I got too many appointments. No, you're just not taking the time to organize your clients, right? Or, man, uh, I don't like setting appointments because of, whatever excuse. No, you just don't time block. You don't put it in your schedule and you let the day go by you. That's what's actually happening, right? Or maybe you've been stuck at a certain place in your business for months or even years, right? Like you're just doing the same thing you've always done. So you're going to keep getting it. You're just allowing that to happen. Or right? Maybe people in your life, in your business, around you don't treat you the best. They say things that aren't kind to you. Okay, well, if it's happened more than once, it's your fault because you allowed it. All right. And so if you want to have a better life, better business, you have to really do an inventory of what are you allowing to happen to and around your life. And then of course you can apply it to all areas. So that was something that was big for me because obviously from a place standpoint where we are, right? Obviously Jamie and I are selling every day. We're running Lead Champ every day, which is a bazillion things all at once. It's people, it's automations. We have teams, we have families, and it's easy to point the finger at a whole host of other things on why things are going wrong, right? You could say, hey, the leads aren't picking up, but at the end of the day, how many dials did you make yesterday? And if the answer is anything less than, let's say, 200, then what did you do all day, right? You allowed that to happen, and you're giving up control to some other thing versus you. So that's what I would say on that. It was my thing. I do have like two questions for Elise, if I may. So you're talking about, kind of your journey. One thing that we've been talking about a lot is when you got started, you started on mortgage protection. Some people start on final expense, some, like they start all kinds of places. So did you ever sell final expense or did you go straight into mortgage protection?
No, I started with final expense, but I don't think I even knew what the heck I was doing. And
Okay.
then Marissa put me to Nicole and she's the mortgage protection queen. So
She's,
not
yeah.
really. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Nicole's the queen of a lot of things. We'll put it like that.
Social media for sure.
Yeah, except for calling me back. I gave her a hard time about that. Um, anyway, so what was the transition like? Because I remember when I went from final expense to mortgage protection, it was like, oh, it's this big scary thing, and what the heck
Mhm.
is equity protection? It's a fancy word. What was that transition like in learning going from final expense to mortgage protection? And then two-part question, why did you go to IULs? And then what was that transition like?
So it was easy for me because, like I said, I didn't know what the heck I was doing with final expense. I had sold maybe one final expense policy. And then Marissa had transitioned me over to Nicole, and she just broke it down, and I picked up how to do it very quickly. It was just picking up the phone and doing the work and, putting in the necessary hours. But we made the switch to IULs collectively as a team. I believe it was after wasn't it the last Ignite when they did the whole IUL day? And we were like, all right, everyone's switching to IULs. And that was tough, right? Because I was finally getting, used to doing mortgage protection. And then it was like, well, now we have to learn this whole new thing. And an IUL sounds very, very scary, but it's not. It's very simple. And I love that you can implement everything with an IUL lead depending on what they're looking for, right? Like it doesn't have to be an IUL if they can't qualify for an IUL, or maybe term is a better option for them. Or if they're unhealthy, we're gonna give them whole life and we're gonna protect them with something. So there's so many ways you can go with an IUL lead rather than, from what I hear, final expense, and not to knock on it, but most of the time you're dealing with, 70, 80-year-olds with a lot of health complications, and some of them don't have money to get a whole lot. So I love IULs. I think that there's so much you can do with an IUL lead and so many ways you can protect a client. And that's
Y-
our main goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's coming from a movie. I don't have time to go all in it, but there's angels in IULs, right? Because you
Mhm.
could sell a basic IUL, you could sell, a max founded $1,000 a month. You could sell a whole life because they were looking for protection, right? You could sell annuities when it calls
An
for,
annuity.
like a lot of different things come into play, and then you can come across some really, really big deals, which is always fun when it does
Mhm.
happen, because it doesn't always. Um, okay. The reason I say that is because I think a lot of us get into our heads of, we're doing final expense, mortgage protection is scary. And what I learned, it's just pretty much all the same. Maybe there's a couple of, different words, right? You say mortgage protection instead of final expense. You say equity protection instead of whatever else. Maybe you're selling, this carrier instead of that carrier, but at the end of the day, it's all the same thing. IUL, same way, right? Um, there's a little bit more bells and whistles. You can do it this way, do it that way, right? Same thing with annuities, right? People are like, oh my gosh, annuities, they sound so fancy. If you can explain an IUL, you can explain an annuity. And if you can read and watch a video and learn a few things, it's not that complicated. It's just another thing to learn in life, like we've done everything else, right? Like we didn't know how to walk, talk, or tie our shoes, and we figured that one out. So we can still keep learning more things. So, but if you have the activity to back it up, that's where you get the reps in and you really learn, how do I say it? How do I go about it? What's some strategy? All those kinds of things. So appreciate you sharing with that, Elise. And with that said, Nick, back to you.
Awesome. Well, thank you to Elise Soppe. Thank you to Jamie Cheerio and Josh Locker, all three of y'all, for coming on and sharing today. We so appreciate you guys taking the time to give back to the community. If you are at Ignyte, or if you're listening to this or watching on social media and you want to take advantage of the event pricing, please go to leadchamppro.com, click book a demo, book it before this Saturday, or I mean, all day Saturday, I'm open for appointments. Okay. Although there is limited space because like 30 or 40 people have already booked with me since the event. So get a slot before they run out, and we'll get you that code to get our best pricing yet. Either get the VMU site as a new agent and get to try out the dialer for free for a month, or get the CRM and get the dialer for free for a month as well. And if you want to join us live for future calls like this, if you love it on social and you want to be here for the Zoom, every Wednesday at 12 o'clock Eastern, leadchamplive.dials.com. We are here doing it live. And also, by the way, you can join us for live dials every single day in this Zoom, as well as Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. Josh and Jamie host a quick power hour session. Will you guys be here tomorrow, or are you guys traveling again? You guys will be here tomorrow?
We'll
Perfect.
be here. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern in the Discord. And I think we put an updated Discord link in the chat right here, or there's a button at the top of Lead Champ to join the Discord if you want to be a part of the community. 10 a.m. tomorrow, we'll be on dialing. Elise, once again, thank you so much for being on. Guys, if you're looking for someone to work with, you're trying to get into insurance, definitely hit Elise up. Obviously, she's got this thing figured out. 40K in a month is incredible, especially part-time a year in. Like, I can't wait to see where you are 2-3 years from now. It's going to be unbelievable. And Josh and Jamie, once again, we appreciate everything you all do for Lead Champ, everything, all the new things you build, all the problems you solve. Please, everyone, do not text them about your support problems. Please hit the support button. We appreciate you so much for doing that. They still are the ones fixing it. Just work with us a little bit, okay? Thank you guys so much. Have a fantastic week, and bye for now.